Another day in the shop. We got Murr, the master rod polisher, over doing his thing. And he brought over a vintage cruise control system, which I'm sure hasn't been sitting around forever, but I appreciate him having all sorts of this junk. So I don't know where we're gonna put that in, but I think that's a Murr job. So we're armed with a couple of different polishers. I got my fancy dancy new one, and endless amounts of different polishing compound. Now this stuff here seems to work the best, and we got a few different other ones. I originally did the front section here, which is now kind of dull, it's got junk on it, with this stuff, and it works really good, but it's very slow and tedious. So as you can see, as the further we go, there's a lot of garbage on there. So we tried a bunch of different stuff, and what we've ended is we're just gonna sand and paint the whole car. No, so I got a bunch of 1000 grit sandpaper from when we were doing the convertible. So we're gonna wet sand. I think we're gonna do the front clip, the fenders and the hood, wet sand in 1000, then polish it back and see what it works out to be. I think that's probably our best bet. There's gonna be a lot of funny stuff. I mean, the front of this car, I mean, it's a lot of just rust and things, so I think maybe the rust will just polish, eh? If you sand that, it'll just look ugly. So we'll try and get the tops of the fenders looking good. And then we gotta be real careful around the paint, the fresh paint, I should say, and carry on from there. That being said, the doors should polish up just real easy because I painted them myself. Same with the under the quarter window, and the roof is what's really gonna be ugly. I don't know what we're gonna do here. It's so very, very rough, but oh, we'll set the camera up and we'll wet sand this and start polishing and see where we end up. So here's where we've gotten. It does come back pretty nice. So whatever the stuff is, this stuff works the absolute best. Unfortunately, I only have a small container of it, and it wasn't cheap, so I ordered some more. I'm only here for a few days, but we're gonna carry on. Murr's been doing some wet sanding. I think I'm gonna wet sand the fender on this side. He's gonna redo the hood. The hood has a lot of whatever it is, oxidation or grossness in the paint, but when you can bring it back to that level, I think we're doing pretty good. It is fun trying to polish just all these dents and stuff. And then the tops of the fenders, I mean, they were all rust, so as you polish, that's actually just bare metal. So I think we're at the limit of polishing that. The front, I really like the way it looks. Move over, Murray, you're in the corner. Sorry. But this turned out great because this was all just rust. We got the rust off, and that's the primer that's left. And I mean, it gets rough down here, stone chips, but I think we're making fantastic. It looks actually way better on the viewfinder than it does in real life, which means it'll look good on YouTube. So me and Murr are working opposite shifts here. So he's wet sanding. He's doing a damn mediocre job, if I do say so myself. But what's working out is flattening the paint, it seems like. And I came back and I just did this little test spot with the buffer, and I think that's pretty darn presentable. And so I've been working on this fender. There's only so much you can do on the fender. This is, again, it looks like it's kind of gross. That's, you know, the primer or metal coming through. As you can see, there's not much more we can take care of. But the side of the fender actually came out really nice, and it's a lot easier to polish. It just seems like, obviously, the top of the car is what had all that oxidation and grossness on. And then the door, I just polished it because it's trim clad that I then sanded to make it look rough. So it's fine. It's turned out really, really, really good. So we're just contemplating what we're going to do with the roof, but from a front standpoint, this looks fantastic. So once he gets the hood all down, I'll be able to buff that no problem. And yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do here, or back here for that matter. But we're working on it. The black, I think we'll get the black done first, and it should go pretty. The sides, I can probably just hit that real quick. So I'll maybe I'll set the camera up. We'll do the side real quick. By then he's gonna be done the hood. 'Cause he's very slow moving. You'll get what you pay for. He's right on the car and he knows it. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, so we're gonna get a little set up here. Now, the big thing is I don't want to touch this because it's so fresh. I nicked just one little edge of a letter up front there, and it did kind of take it off. So we're gonna be gingerly. I'm just using this Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. It seems to be the ultimate stuff. Just kind of rub it on, and we'll see what happens. I'll just do this little section maybe here. Just remember what it looks like right now, and then we'll wipe her down. Alright, so we got her kind of polished out. Now just kind of buff it off with a microfiber towel. And you can see the shine. Yeah, right back. And this is going to have a bunch of overspray and all sorts of ugliness on, because this was the factory door where it's all kind of ugly, and then here and here I did a little blending. Look at that, nice and shiny. Looks presentable, as far as I'm concerned. So, I'll flip you around and we'll do that section. Let's see how this one turned out. This paint I'm not as obsessed with. It's about a week old, the lettering, so hopefully it's not gonna come off. The black's shining up nice.
Yeah.
Look at this, Murray, be proud. Look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You can see the reflection in it.
You can see something.
You can see something, yeah.
Wow. Fancy hot rod. I'm excited to tackle the white. We'll get the other side done first though. So, we're first on the wet side in the front. I'm just taking a break from the polisher. It's hard on the arms, but we thought we'd just kind of see what we're going to do with the white. We just have some 1000 grit, and if you had the touch vision, it's so rough. So I thought, let's just wet sand it down so it's smooth. And I mean, the paint comes off so fast. It's unbelievable. I mean, all this, it's not dirt. This is the black coming through. So I just want something, hopefully I'll show on the camera. These rough edges, let's just kind of make them smoother so it's flat-ish. I mean, as flat as it's going to be. Get all the real lumpy stuff out, and then I'll hit the polisher, but you can see like the water's just completely white. So there's not much hope left for this, I don't think, but I don't know. It's either leave it how it is or risk it. So we're going to go ahead and risk it. All right, so this has all been wet sanded and kind of wiped down. Murder's now wet sanding the white off the trunk lid still, but I lost interest in that. So we actually ran the hose right up here and washed half the white off the car. So I wanted to do something fun and bring all the shine back on the hood.
Except the dents.
It really, there are a lot of dents on this hood.
There are a lot of dents.
I didn't realize how bad this hood was until
yeah.
Fixed. Wow. You know, I think, I don't know if the hood was on this thing when I got it or not, actually. Well, maybe it was a deck lid that was ripped off by a grizzly bear. Remember? I had to weld on this.
I've forgotten now. Your car's all run
So
together.
many drive-bys. Look at that.
Not bad, eh?
I'm happy. So it's the next day. A little fast forward, I'm not gonna lie. Well, it was Saturday night yesterday. We do live stream most Saturday nights. So we decided to work on the car during the live stream. So hopefully you're there. If you're not, tune in on Saturday evenings or hit the little bell on the channel reminder. I'll let you know. Anyway, so I wet sanded the roof. Mur had done the deck lid and kind of on the side. Basically what it was, there's all this kind of rust was coming through and we got most of it off. So instead of looking kind of like a brown, dirty, ugly off-white, it's kind of, well, at least it's somewhat of the ivory color. Now, I mean, it never really ends, and we're started rapidly running into the situation of how much do you sand, the old return on investment, because at certain points, I mean, there ain't no sanding that out. So, well, I tried a little test spot back here, and I mean, it's probably not even that much difference on camera, I guess, but it does kind of just even it out. It's definitely a little darker on this side, a little lighter here, so we're gonna do that. You can kind of run your hand on it, it's still, it's not the best, like a rag still grabs it, but before you couldn't even wash this thing, it was like trying to wash Velcro. So we'll do that. I want to make sure I'll do the sides as best I can, make them look kind of nice. And then like around the top again, we're burning through paint left and right. There's no way around it. So we'll get the back section done first. We'll set the camera up, crank on some tunes, and give her, see where we end up. Hopefully it looks way better. So there we go. I gave it a cut and then a bit of a kind of a top polish there. It's still rough, but you know what? Better than it was. And you can see the difference. There's some polish over here, but right in this area, it's got that browny, dirty look. And now it just looks a little bit cleaner and smoother. So we're gonna carry on, we're committed. This should come out pretty nice, and up at the front is actually all newish paint where I tried to blend it. So yeah, we're gonna set up on the sides. Make this happen. I don't think I'm going to cut this quite as hard as I did the deck lid. The deck lid is really bad. Up in here I might have to, but as you go down the side of the car, it's not terrible. It's just the top half. And the roof, fortunately, has a big break in the paint. So even if it doesn't come out to be, it's kind of a slightly different color, there's no white to white. It's all broken up by glass and black and whatnot. So we'll do the best we can and kind of make it happy, but the roof paint I think actually is the worst. Oh well. Okay, so there we kind of have it. So we've done one side, kind of see how it's going to turn out. Now let's give you the after, and here's the before, so you can really see the difference we're working with. Eh? I think it's worth it. So clean the pad up because it was getting pretty gunky and whatnot. I'm going to finish off this side. I'll just take care of that real quick, and then probably take a little break because this is, man, it's hard on the hands. And then we'll tackle the roof. And I think that's all that's really left to get it down to kind of presentable. And then I might spend a little bit more time on the hood because the front clip does look the best. So if I spend a little bit more time on the front clip and the doors kind of blend it all together, I think it'll look good. The white, I think we're almost as good as we're going to get right now. So it's just letting the camera charge and start hitting the roof on the other side, and you're like, ah, this side's all wet sand, it doesn't look too bad. Man, does it ever clean up here. It's unfreaking believable. Look at this. Like, it's just, the side-by-side is ridiculous. So we got our flat, we got all the grime out now. It's just so much junk in the paint. It's unbelievable, but, well, we're doing something, and honestly, that yellow is just ugly, so at least this is what it is. Probably just wet sand this thing right down to a 100% black car. So I'll set it up, and I'll probably finish this side real quick, and then, yeah, keep jamming. Okay, so the top's all kind of buffed out, and now what I want to do for the last step, last bit of this video, I got some of this Chemical Guys scratch and swirl remover, which is supposed to be like the last coat before you would top coat like a wax. So we'll see exactly what this does. I'm going to do half the hood into the fender, top of the fender, and then we'll get into the door, just so it hopefully looks nice and shiny. Well, I am sweating. It was a lot of work. I did wear my polishing Mur shirt for good luck. I did the whole, everything, well, the black on the car, I should say. I'm losing my mind here. But look how shiny that looks. You know, up close, hey, it's definitely far from perfect, perfect from afar. I mean, look at the amount of dents and dents in this thing. But very presentable, it'll look good. We're rolling down the road, and that's all we're really trying to accomplish here. And ultimately now the paint's protected. I still got to go ahead and do all the chrome and stuff like that, stainless, to get that all cleaned up, give it a top coat of wax. But now I'm going to back this thing out, I'm going to wash it, and I'm done with this video. In the next one, we're going to drive it. I think what I'm going to do is try and tow this thing down with a tow bar. So we're going to run down the Princess Auto for the test drive and maybe see if we can mount up a tow bar in the next video. We also have cruise control installed, all sorts of fun stuff. Anyways, if you made it this far in the video, thank you very much. Make sure you leave a comment below. I like to read every single one of them. Let me know what you think of the car. Subscribe to the channel, all those good things. And I'll see you in a couple of days. This thing's getting ready for a road trip.